I gotta say this. I'm really surprised that the culture is still talking about this Jim Jones Nas situation. I mean, this is a culture we all know. I mean, we all agree that as a rapper, as an MC, you're supposed to think you're the best, right? I mean, I think we all agree with that. I don't even really agree with that, but that's standard. So I don't understand what all right, catch everybody up right quick. Everybody has been jumping on Jim Jones's back because he said that he's more relevant than Nas, in his own colorful words. Then he told niggas, he told Fat Joe, and I know Fat Joe sounds probably a bad word right now, but told Fat Joe and Jadakiss to check the stats and all that. Check my Billboard entries and this, that, and the third, and then check Nas's. Well, that didn't go well. The entire culture checked the Billboard entries and all of that, and it didn't look, that didn't bode well for Jim Jones. Sounds to me like like Jim Jones homeboys. Sometimes we have these conversations, these theories, these debates, or these moments where we beat on our chest, and we big ourselves up. And if I were a homeboy, some may call these yes men for not some may. When I first thought of this, I was saying Jim Jones got too many yes men in his circle or whatever, because this ain't the first time he said that, and they let him say it. Ain't nobody go in their phone and go, hold on a second, Jim. Nah. But Nas, though, nobody said that. It probably never got there. He was probably just talking about MCs in general. A lot of these dudes who came out in the same era that he came out in, they not doing what he doing right now. And he's correct. You know what I'm saying? But just the whole checking the bill, check my billboards and check his and blah, 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 blah. He shouldn't have did that, right? He probably was just freestyling with that. What he said about Nas is probably true about some other MCs, just not Nas, right? But this all started because a young boy said, I guess he said something that supports Jim Jones's theory on the Don't Quote Me podcast. A salute to them. They do great work over there. But they had a young boy over there, YNs as y'all call it. I don't really like the term YNs because it kind of gives YT people a little pass to say N. But anyway, it's below the surface. But the young boy was like, yo, he was talking about, his favorites. Well, who's more relevant to, this, that, and the third to him. And, and I believe he might have stated that Jim Jones was more relevant than Nas or whatever, or that he likes Jim Jones better than Nas. I don't know the exact quote, but I know all of this uproar started from here. So when Jim is with Joe and Jada, Triple J, the topic comes up. And of course, like I said, the standard operating procedure for rappers to believe that they're the best. I think they be lying. Niggas don't really believe they better than me. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. You hear things out there, you be like, whoa, right? And some dudes are scared to get on tracks with certain dudes. Anyway, I digress. I didn't really want to talk about this too much. I'm actually surprised that it's still a topic. You know what I mean? When it first came out, when it first arose or whatever, I didn't feel like I had anything original or interesting to add to the topic. You know what I mean? Because it was, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was saying everything about it. But let me just say this. Jim Jones is right. The young boys don't care about Nas as much as they care about Jim Jones. People have put the label of Jim Jones being the world's oldest YN. Again, how I feel about that term. But anyway, I see their point. Like, the young boys rock with Jim on a level that they don't really rock with Nas right now. And that's factual. It just is. But he don't rap better than Nas. He just don't. You know what I mean? Now, that don't mean if they battled that Nas would definitely beat Jim Jones. If you're familiar with battle rap, speaking of battle rap, salute to T-Rex. He had a seizure last night, or was it the night before? It was last night. He had a seizure on stage during the battle against Geechee Gotti. So, you know what I mean? If you're a praying person, pray for the man, you know what I'm saying? His good health, I'm sending out good energy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, love and light to the brother. I think he's a strong nigga. He'll be back, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully. So everything will be, I heard that he's doing well, so, you know what I mean? Yeah, just wanted to mention that. But, if you watch battle rappers, if you're familiar with battle rap culture, you'll see that just because you are a better, more gifted rapper, don't mean that you'll win in a battle. You know what I mean? Sometimes the better rapper is not as funny as his opponent, not as lit, not as hip, not as whatever. More goes into it. So this it's all a matter of preference thing, but it is factual what Jim Jones says. If Jim Jones is saying that, people speak to the word relevant. Relevance is a funny word. People get all bent out of shape when it comes to that word. Rice is delicious. I love rice. Whether it's yellow rice, white rice, brown rice, I love rice. Right? What does that have to do with what I'm talking about right now? Nothing. What that means is rice is not relevant to this conversation. When people use the term relevant, when they say he's not relevant today, they just mean that, listen, like, no one is thinking about or talking about, or it's not part of the current conversation. When a person says that Nas ain't relevant now, what they saying is Nas ain't putting out music now. Not really. He's not part of the conversation now. You understand what I'm saying? When they talking about what's going on today. Now, historically, legendaryism, if that's a word, all of that, we get it. You know what I'm saying? Nas is one of the GOATs. You know what I mean? I don't hear nobody put Jim Jones on a top 5, top 20, not even a top 50 list when it comes down to rapping. But he is one of the most lit rappers in New York right now. I gotta say that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the truth. If you know what the term lit means, then that's that. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Trying to be a taxpaying citizen in need of the nation. Leave us a super thanks. Or Cash App. We actually prefer the Cash App. But y'all do y'all. Niggas don't listen. Cash App tag won't be in the description along with the Bandcamp link. Bandcamp link is there for those of you who would rather hear me rap than hear me yap. All the mixtapes is there from Nonviolent Rocco, the newest one, all the way back to Shell Shock. So go there and binge. You know what I mean? Have fun. Get a whiff of why my opinion matters so much. Sidebar, I feel like I influenced the title, My Expert Opinion. I feel like I did. Because Math, my homeboy, and that's a quote I used to say all the time. I adapted that saying right after my court case back in 2010 when I went to trial. When they brought in the expert witness and they was asking them, so in your expert opinion, so whenever we talk about rap, I would say things like that. I could find a tweet or a Facebook post where I said it, and it was long before the My Expert Opinion show was out. I'm not saying something big. I'm just saying. I might have inspired it. It's possible. But yeah, I felt like the only thing that I could add to this was, I got to, my perspective is a little bit interesting sometimes. And also, it's the perspective of somebody who raps better than everybody else who have given their perspective. You understand what I'm saying? So just put that in your pipe and smoke. What else I was saying? Oh yeah, when you typing on the walls or writing on the walls, aka writing, leaving comments, use your spell checks, not your autocorrects. Autocorrects are how your comments getting deleted. That's how you putting helter skelter instead of helter skelter, and that's just wrong. It's incorrect. It's an A and an H at the end of both of those words. No ER. You know what I'm saying? Monster, not monster. It's an A at the end of the word. No ER. Rock is spelled with a C and a K. A K is 1,000. I want all my thousands. Unless, listen, if you're a Crip, I understand. I know y'all got politics and all that, but just put a little cuz or cuz something in the comments so I get it right. You know what I'm saying? And for the love of all things decent, it's BCC, not BBC. Pause protesters, get your ass out of here. Shannon Sharp done entered the fray. Son Jim Jones and Shannon Sharp done had an aggressive debate on the matter. Shannon Sharp don't know nothing about hip hop. He don't. This is, I believe, salute to Shannon Sharp. I feel like he just following a. Matter of fact, I shouldn't say he don't know nothing about hip hop, as me being judgmental. But Shannon Sharp can't tell you what I can tell you about. I feel like some people are just following the narrative. And if you saying that Jim Jones ain't got no, if you saying that when Jim say when Jim says that he's more relevant than Nas right now, if you debating that, you just following the flock. You sheeple. You ain't shepherd. You're not. You're not. But yeah, they debate done evolved into a workout challenge and all of that. They crazy. But here's the thing. Salute to Jim, because Jim getting what he want right now. It's all promo. Like him, Cam, like those dudes, like they're really good at stimulating the algorithm. You know what I mean? They're good. They've always been good marketers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they've always had a certain amount of controversy, kind of, not always, but they're familiar with controversy. Through ups and downs of their career, the light that was shined on them, it kind of magnified their exposure to controversy. You know what I'm saying? So, all of the negative publicity that Jim is getting, Jim is, he's playing the unbothered card. Maybe it's bothering him a little bit, but not really. He keeps trying to explain to you that, yeah, I made a little boo-boo, but look, y'all talking about me. Great. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say on this. So, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all agree, disagree, whatever. Don't really matter. But, it's my 2 cents on this matter. And by the way, welcome to the nation. I'm your host, your president, your tour guide, Mr. Monster Rocco. I'm the landlord, the owner, tenant, the janitor. I'm out the damn floor. Let's go. I'm one of the realest you ever gonna see. I ain't come here to lie to you. Niggas done with a lie to you. I get Beanie Siegel's first album, or Paul Pierce even, they got the truth.